Peace, what's going on everybody? It's your main man Nat Coziay here. Now this video right here is for anybody that's trying to soundproof their home studio, trying to treat their room so that it sounds better when they're mixing and recording vocals. So without taking up too much time, I'm gonna get right into it. First of all, trying to soundproof your room, you need to know what you're going for. If you're what's the main purpose of your studio. So if it's for mixing, if you're just trying to mix or something like that, then you need to treat your room a certain way. And if you're just trying to record vocals or something like that, then you need to have things set up a certain way. And with that being said, one of the main things you need to understand is how sound works and how sound travels. Once you understand how sound works and how it travels, it'll help you to better understand how to treat your room. All right. So, for instance, as I stand back here, you can hear a little more reverberance in my room. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk closer to where a lot of the treatment lies, and you'll hear how the sound is changing. Hopefully you can hear how the sound is changing. So you see, as I get right here, the sound is a lot more deadened. And what that just means is the frequency response is a lot flatter over here. There's a lot less reverberance in this area. All right. So that's what you need to understand. You need to understand how sound travels, and you need to understand that when sound hits a flat surface that's not absorbent, then the sound is going to bounce off of it. So look at it like throwing a basketball at the wall. If you throw that basketball at the wall, it's going to bounce back at you. And that's pretty much the best example I can think of to explain to you how sound works. All right. So these are some tips and tricks that you can use to treat your room. Now, there's three main pillars of understanding and treating your room, and those three pillars are diffusion, absorption, and reverberance. To a properly treated room will take care of those three things. So when you take care of those three things properly, then you should have a pretty good sounding room. There's a lot of mathematics that go into it, but I know a lot of us, we don't have the time or money to pay somebody to come in and professionally treat our room. So understanding absorption, reverberance, and diffusion, if you can, tackle those things to the best of your ability, then you'll probably have a decent sounding room. And I should back up a little bit. The main reason you want to treat your room is because you want your music to translate the way that you're hearing it in your room. So when you mix a song and you take it out to your car, you want it to sound the way it sounded when you mixed it in your room. And that's a problem that a lot of people have. They mix a song in their studio and they say, oh man, it sounds good. Then they take it out to the car, or they put it on their iPod or their Android device or something like that, and it don't sound the same. And that's the reason why, is because your mixing environment is not giving you a true sound. All right. And most people have problems in the low end range when it comes to their room treatment. The low end range is pretty much that just pretty much means that you're getting a lot of bass build up in your room. And that bass build up, bass has a lot of energy. The high and mid frequencies don't have as much energy as the bass, so it's easier to treat your room for those high and mid frequencies, mid frequency issues. So the bass is one of the main things that you want to take care of. Anyway, that's enough of me rambling on. So here I'm going to show you what I did to treat my room on a budget. I might have spent maybe $200, $300 for what you see here. All right. Now, a lot of people, anybody that knows anything about recording and you've seen the major studios, you know that a lot of them have, paneling and just a lot of technologically advanced treatment ways that they treat their room. And paneling is a good way to help treat your room, especially for the mid to high frequencies. So what I did, I went to a home improvement store and I bought the materials and I made my own panels. So what you got here is you have a panel that's made out of insulation. I bought Owens Corning insulation. I bought some wood to make the frames of the panels. I think these panels, the dimensions of these panels are 14 inches wide and 48 inches long, and maybe about 1.5 to 2 inches thick. So you can go to your home improvement store in your area and get the materials to make that. And then I went to like a craft store and I bought the material to cover the panel with. So pretty much I got some wood, some insulation, and some material to cover the panel with. And that was pretty much it. So I made around 8 panels, and it probably, I may have averaged doing those 8 panels for around $150, maybe $200. No, I would say around $150 is what it cost me to make 8 panels. And anybody that knows how much panels cost, you know that was the best way for me to go, because you can buy one panel and it'll cost $80. So that saved me a lot of money by creating my own panels. Alright, so I have a panel there, as you can see. I have panels back here in the corner. And the way I place these panels is to make sure I don't have any parallel walls in my room. Parallel walls are something that you want to try and get rid of when it comes to treating your room. So make sure you keep that in mind. You want your room to be as oddly shaped as possible. That way, when the sound hits something, it doesn't just bounce right back towards where it came from. So you want the sound to bounce in as many different directions as it possibly can before it comes back to you. Alright, so these panels pretty much handle the absorption issue that I was speaking about, one of the 3 pillars of treating your room. Alright, now let's get into diffusion. Alright, now looking right here at this studio foam, this studio foam kind of handles two of those pillars at once. It handles diffusion and absorption. So diffusion pretty much means when sound hits it, the sound gets broken up. So the sound doesn't just come back as a complete whole sound. You want the sound to get broken up, to kind of, to thin it out. Is the equivalent of, think of it like a piece of ice hitting a wall. If you throw the ice at the wall hard enough, it's going to break up. All right, so that's pretty much what diffusion is when it comes to sound. So you want the sound to hit it and break up, so that way by the time the sound starts to travel back towards you, it's a lot less potent, for lack of a better word. All right, so that's diffusion. And again, these types of studio foams handle diffusion and absorption. Okay, and you can see I got more over here. I got some up there. So that's diffusion and absorption. Now, reflection is pretty much this right here. Just your wall, the walls that are already in your house or your room or wherever you're recording at. That's what reflection or reverberance is. Okay, so you want a little bit of reverberance in your mixing environment, because that's going to give you a natural sound. So you want your music to sound as natural as it possibly can. You want your mixing environment to be as natural as it possibly can without creating problems. Okay, so you want a little bit of reverberance in your room, just a little bit, not too much. All right, and now that's your mixing space. Now, when it comes to recording, I use my home studio to record vocals mostly. When it comes to recording, you want your space as dead as possible. Okay, so if you look up here on the ceiling, I got panels on the ceiling, and if you look right here at my makeshift vocal booth, you can see I have deflection and absorption material over here. If you'll look at this blanket in the back, you'll see that that's an absorber. You can also look at this mini vocal booth here that sits behind the mic. That's serving an absorption and reflection purpose. If you look up here in the corners, you'll see I got more paneling up there. And this is absorbing all of the sound. You want as little reverberance in your recording space as possible. You want the sound to be as dead as possible in your recording space. If you look right here, you'll see I got another panel on the wall, and this panel I have right here is pretty much I put this behind me once I'm standing in the vocal booth ready to record. I hang this on the ceiling. It pretty much hangs suspended from the ceiling vertically, and that blocks me off in the back to keep sounds from coming in to my recording space. So like I said,